Let's talk weddings, part 3. Yay, we're doing it. It's been a minute. I said I was going to be doing these weekly, and we determined that was a lie. But here we are. You know what I mean? We're here. Hey, you guys. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I had to see what day of the week it is. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. What's going on? If you're joining me, let me know where you're hopping in from. I would love that. This is part 3 of Let's Talk Weddings. I came up with this idea one day while I was shooting a wedding. Actually, I was second shooting a wedding, and I was like, you know what? I got a lot of opinions and thoughts about this wedding world, this wedding industry. I've been in it for years and years and years and years and years, 9 years to be exact, shooting weddings. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to share my opinions and my thoughts on weddings. So let's talk weddings part 3. If you are here, let me know where you're joining from. Put it in the comments. I am a comment girl. You know what I mean? Like, I love the comments. They give me energy. They give me life. They let me know that you guys are resonating with what I'm talking about. And it doesn't feel like I'm just talking to the air here on this here live. So let's talk weddings part 3. And in particular, we're going to be talking about videography versus photography. So this is the part 3 topic, is videography versus photography. It should be really a good one. O'Hare International Airport. Yes. Aviation says from Shy Pastor Angela. I love that. Are you at O'Hare now? That's what's up. From Ghana. Okay. Ghana is in the building. Okay. That's all good. So I love that. Hey, Jennifer, girl, checking in from Chicago. We got Chicago in the building. I love that. What's up, my Chi-Town people? So thank you guys for letting me know where y'all are tuning in from, and if you're just joining, let me know where you're tuning in from. And again, if you ever have questions, just put them in the chat. You know what I mean? If something resonates, give a little love, like whatever, like I'm here for that. So I want to talk a little bit about videography versus photography as it relates to weddings, because I get this question a lot. I work with videographers a lot. I always get asked, oh, do you shoot video as well? You know what I mean? And I think like it's been popular for the last couple of years, like this whole videography versus photography, like videography and photography team. But there's so much that I feel like clients or consumers don't know, right? And you wouldn't know unless you are a photographer or a videographer. Maybe you've had a wedding. Like, you just don't know what you don't know. And I think that, it's important. Hey, Kenyatta. Hi, my boo. ATL. Yes, I work for American Airlines. Awesome. Love that. ATL's in the building. That's what's up. You're here for this topic. Okay, good. Let's get it going. So I have been a photographer for some years now, you know what I mean? I've been in weddings for 9 years and have literally seen it all. And so I specialize in photography, and I stand 10 toes down on that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. That's what I know that I'm good at. And I get asked all of the time, oh, do you do video too? Right? And the answer is professionally, no, I don't do video too. I stay in my lane and I do photography, because while videography and photography are very similar, especially to like a consumer or a client standpoint, it's like, oh, they both use cameras. You know what I mean? Like, people think that they're one and the same. You know what I mean? And it's not that simple. The truth of the matter is that the actual execution of capturing say a photo shoot from a photography standpoint, and capturing like a video shoot or a video project from a video standpoint are totally different, right? Now, y'all can argue with me if you want on this. I would love to hear other people's perspective, but I know what I know, and I see what I seen, and I'm true to what I do, right? And photography is what I do. And so they're so different. Yes, I agree. They're so different in so many ways. Yes, I can capture video on my camera, and sometimes, I push myself out of the box and capture video, but that is not my specialty. Photography is my specialty. So when I think about photography in particular and how I go about capturing, number one, lighting is everything, right? Photography is nothing but the ability to manipulate light, whether you're manipulating harsh light, direct light, or you're manipulating in low light. There's a highlight and a shadow somewhere, some way, right? And that is photography day in and day out. And so videography similar, but the way that they utilize light is totally different, right? And so if I'm at a wedding and a lot of times my wedding clients will have a videographer and they're capturing a couple of things. Number one, the videographer usually trails the photographer because a lot of times us photographers are kind of keeping up with every kind of piece and portion of the day. And we're almost like, in a sense, like a timekeeper because we have to capture stills. We capture still imagery, like that moment in time, literally freezing a moment in time. And when we're capturing that, we're thinking about, again, the light in the room. We're thinking about the ambiance and the setting. We're thinking about the tones, and from the tones of the walls to the tones of the ceilings to the tones of the carpet, because all of that is then like projected back onto the client. There's so many different pieces to it, right? And so I am capturing a still, whereas videography is capturing movement. They want to see movement. They want to hear audio, right? And the way that they're able to capture light, because they do the videos are really shot in frames per second. They are able to shoot in more low light situations and really like grade the video, like color grade it in post-production, where it doesn't really work out like that for us in the same way, right? And so I think the biggest thing that I want people to understand is that, you know, when you are like planning a wedding, right? Because this is wedding topics. Let's talk weddings. We talking video, we talking photography. When you're planning a wedding, and maybe this is for some photographers. Matter of fact, if you're a photographer on this chat right now and you shoot weddings, give me a camera in the comments. If you're a photographer on this chat right now, you shoot weddings, give me a camera in the comments. If you are a videographer that shoots weddings and you're here on live right now, put a little video. You can put a V for video. How about that? V for video, and put a camera emoji. I just want to kind of see. And if you are a consumer, if you are a bride to be, or you've had a wedding, or you, whatever the case is, put a ring in the chat. I want to see who's here, you know, so that I can really tailor this conversation. But the execution is so different, and it really starts with how we use light. Like, it starts there. So a lot of times, like, I'm going to set up my off-camera flashes in a room because the power of those flashes that are going off, this powerful light is powerful light. And I need that powerful light in order to capture the ambiance and the depth of the room, and to make sure that my clients are properly, their color and all of that. There's like not a lot of grain and like all of that. Okay, so we have some video gets a chance to tell the story during the edit. Yes. And the edit, oh my gosh, that final production piece of what video produces is, again, totally different because the execution is different. Video is putting together like a trailer. Maybe it's a 3-minute trailer, a 5-minute trailer, a 10-minute trailer. Maybe it's a 90-second trailer, 30-second trailer. They're putting together a condensed piece of like work that showcases from movement and audio the story that's happening, right? That's the video delivery, where photography is putting together, like, again, we're capturing stills all throughout the day, right? And so our delivery is a full array gallery of images from all the way from prep all the way to party time or your big exit. They're just very different. Okay, we got some rings. I love it. We got some cameras. I love it. Awesome. So there's a little mix of people. There's photographers here with the cameras, got some video with the video camera. Mullen group got the video popping, right? And so again, I think that, the biggest thing to know is like the execution is different. Now, does lighting matter to video people? Absolutely. But can video people use the photography light, like these flashes that are going off? No, because those flashes are triggered by our shutter speed, right? But a lot of times photo, like in photography, I can use some pin lights or like some still lights that videographer people have up, but still those lights still aren't as powerful as my flash. Right? And so the execution's just totally different. I don't need movement. I don't need audio. I need stills, and I'm purposeful about the background and the ambiance and the lighting and maybe distracting elements that are going to be captured in this still moment, right? And where video might capture a movement that's happening in that moment, but that may not even make the cut of the trailer. Like, they kind of really get to pick and choose how they want to tell the story from a trailer perspective. Whereas photos, no baby, it's the shot, each and every shot, each and every scene that we find ourselves in. Okay, planners checking in. Yes, Ducky. We got the planners in the building. We got the brides. We got the photographers. We have all of that. So my point in this video topic, or talking about this, is like, I think that it's so important for consumers to understand that while photo and video are very similar, they're very different in execution. And the biggest thing that you want to do is have a clear vision for what you're looking for from your wedding day, from your project, right? Like, when it comes to, so people are like, oh, do you shoot video too? The thing, and another hot thing right now is content creation, right? Content creation is everywhere. And I do content creation. I absolutely can shoot that in a form that is video, but that's not a professional video that I'm doing with my professional camera, right? But it is a way for me to create B-roll and to catch audio and to do the movement, but it's usually shot with your iPhone, and it's really great. Like, all the content that we see on social is like, most of it is captured with our cell phones, because these cell phones are super amazing nowadays. So I can do content creation. I can do some behind the scenes. I can do some real coverage. But my focus is photography. And again, it's really about knowing what your vision is for what you want. Like, what is the final product? Like, if you're looking for amazing photos that you can put up on your wall, that really show your personality, show your essence, they're true to color, they're vibrant, they're classy, they're classic and classy, they're stylish, they're, all of the vibes that you're going for, you need to be looking for that in the photographer's body of work, right? If you want to add video to it, you have to have an idea of like, what do you want them to produce for you, right? Like, because the truth of the matter is that a videographer is not coming to your wedding and shooting your wedding and just giving you 10 hours of footage. It's just not happening. They have a deliverable. And so the deliverables range in trailers and in all like, every videographer is different, and they have a style of work as well, right? And so I think it's so important that the consumer, the client, really has a vision for what they want, and how they want it captured, and specifically, I can only speak for photography. I can speak for video, but I'm not a videographer, so I like to stay in my lane. But when it comes to photography, it's so important to to love a photographer's work, to look at their images and be like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love the emotion. I love the color. I love the contrast. I love how she think everything looks so posed. You know what I mean? Like, I get asked all the time, like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at posing. If I had $1 for every time somebody said I'm not good at posing, I'm not a model like the rest of your clients, baby, I would be paid, okay? But it's not about being a model or being good at posing. That's my job as a photographer, is to help you feel confident and to help you understand, get into a pose that feels good, and, to kind of bring out that sexy, that polished, that classy and classic timelessness that is my style of work, And so when it comes to video and photo, let me go back up a little bit. Planner, check it in, okay? The couple's desired outcome for photo and video are often drastically different. Yes, this is the other T. Let me add this too, Ducky, and say this, that the other piece to this is that, they're drastically different, but the time that we have in which to create these things are always limited. So sometimes us videographers and photographers, man, it's not like a battle or anything, because we're all there to serve the client, but we all are there to get the outcome that we came to get, And so it's really important that you have, you work with people that know how to work well with other people. You know what I mean? Like, people can respect both all the vendors that are involved, and just really respect the vision, and uphold the integrity and the love and care for the vision that the client has. You know what I mean? Because we're all there to serve them and to produce and to create with them, and the time is limited, but all of us matter. So that's what I would say about that. Hey, Lashundra, 5 to 10 minutes long, depending on the request. Listen, we don't have a lot of time. And so I know sometimes I'm moving so fast and I'm like, okay, I know I want to get this scene, and this scene. And I know they asked for this picture and this picture and this picture. And so like, I'm prepared, but like, so I'm moving and the video's like, hold up, wait a minute. I need to step in. I need to get this as well. And when they step in and get whatever they need, again, they're looking for movement. They're looking for audio, right? So they might have the, bride moving her hands up the dress or moving her hands like, moving her face and just doing all, things that are going to really tell the story, what they need. Whereas for me, I'm looking at how that light is falling on her face, like her moving her face away from the sun. I don't want that, because sometimes if you shoot against the highlights, if you're shooting people of color, it just doesn't always warrant, true to skin color. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on your style. So there's so much there. They're the small nuances, but those small nuances add up. So why am I even talking about this? Like, why did I even bring this up? Let's be real. Number one, I get this question all the time, like, oh, do you do video? And number two, I have worked with so many clients that maybe came to me after the fact and they're like, yo, I wish I knew, I wish I had talked to you before, because they hired someone that does photo and video. And while their video was fire, knocked out the park, amazing, the photos were not so much. And they're always wondering like, what happened? What went wrong? Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe their photos were fire, but their video was like, not up to par. There are some companies, I'm not saying this is not possible. There are people that can shoot amazing photos and amazing video. A lot of times they probably have more than 2 people on the team in order to properly execute it, because execution is huge, right? It's hard to go from snapping a photo to being like, okay, let me just turn the video and press record and just like, it doesn't really work like that, because again, it's coming from like what their final product is what they're trying to create, And so, I've worked with so many people that had amazing photos and horrible video, or amazing video and horrible photos. And it's like, why? Number one, the usage of light. I cannot say that enough. A lot of like the way videographers use light is very different than how we use light. The different tones that can be on. For example, I'm sitting in this room. I have the window facing me, so I'm kind of well lit, but I don't have my overhead light on. If I were to have this overhead light on, it would be ambient light, and it'd be like warm, right? And so now it's going to bring another color in the room, and that color is going to cast on me. And if I was shooting, then it would be caught on camera, right? Or like another great example I love to say is when like people do a lot of backlit. When people are like backlit, they're shooting against the light. That can work for some styles. That can work for some skin tones. That can work for some people. But then other people like myself, I don't necessarily love too much backlit, especially if my client, my subject is not front lit, because sometimes it makes it hazy and ashy. Whereas in video, that might work for you, right? So the execution is really different. The use of light is really different. Our final product is really, really different. And these things are just really big when it comes to wedding days and capturing things quickly, timely, and always keeping in mind what the client wants, right? So similar feels, but very different execution. It's important for people to have a very clear vision for what they're looking for. And videographers and photographers should be booked based on their style of work, like based on the work that you see. I cannot reiterate this enough. I was having a conversation with a photographer friend in the DM yesterday, and she just was really frustrated because, she's, like all of us, we're hired sometimes for like people see our work and then they hire us and then they want us to shoot outside of that kind of like that realm, that box. And while creatives love to like not be in a box, we still have a style that we are like, that is true to who we are as creatives. And it's so important that we are able to define that style, recreate that style, know how to get that style, no matter what environment you're placed in, And so it's a style, right? So if you go to someone's website or Instagram and you see their work and you love what you see, then more than likely you're going to love your gallery that much more. But I do think it's a two-part thing. Number one, I do think it's up to us to be able to communicate what our style of work is, what the environment is, like the different pieces, functions that play a role in being able to create that style. And then number two, I do think there's a piece of education that we should be delivering to clients so that they can understand more about booking people on a style, right? Like, I think it's a two-part fold, and it can get annoying, and you would think that people would understand, but people don't always understand, right? Like, what we know as professionals, the consumer may not fully know. So I just had to come in here and talk a little bit about photo and video, because while they're very similar and while people love to be like, oh, do you shoot video too? The execution is very different. And so I do have an add-on for video for my wedding packages, but it is not me shooting. Okay. It is a trusted vendor friend that has agreed to partner with me to do weddings together. We already do weddings together. Might as well put them together in one package, right? But it's not me shooting video. I stick to my lane when it comes to photography. I can do content creation. I can do BTS. I can do reels. I can do all of that kind of stuff, but I'm not a videographer. I am a true photographer. Someone that captures stills and portraits and purposeful moments and really looking at lighting, whether I incorporate and add light, looking at tones and emotions and technical settings to make sure things are sharp and people are looking true to color and that the posing is on point, and all the things that warrant my style come to life for my client sessions. Like, that is what I do and who I am, you know? So I hope this resonated with you all. I know I had some photographers on here. I know I had some videographers on here. I had some clients on here. I had some planners on here, all the people. But I just wanted to really give my opinion when it comes down to like video versus photo. And while they're similar, they're very different. And you really need to have a vision and really book people based on style and really kind of level set your expectations of what you're going to get when it comes to booking with whomever, photography and video, you know? So yeah, that's my thoughts. Okay, I love this talk. Okay, good, Ducky. You followed me. Thank you for sticking around. And I have like so many more topics I want to touch on when it comes to this wedding day topic. This is part 3. I'm really going to try to stick to doing it weekly. I kind of fell off because things got busy and I was like traveling and doing the most. But I have so many things. I want to talk about like a first touch and a first look. I want to talk about like the timeline. I want to talk about like choosing a photographer. I want to talk about like using flash photography on the wedding day, hiring a real venue versus a venue coordinator, having up lighting in your space. There's just all of these topics that I just kind of came flooding in one day when I was shooting a wedding that I just think are so important. And so stay tuned. Stay tuned for more wedding topics. I hope it's good. If you have questions, let me know. I'll put this on the timeline. And I'm about to get ready for Elevate coaching in a little bit. I'm definitely coming to the timeline talk. Yes, lots of opinions. You know what, Ducky? I'm gonna DM you, because I also, through this wedding topic, I want to talk to some wedding vendors and just hear different perspectives on just things, right? So we'll be doing that. So I'm gonna DM you, okay? You guys have an amazing afternoon. I'm headed to coaching with my Elevate group, and we'll talk later, okay? All right, bye.